Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Absolute Football Podcast, Absolutely Lower League, the show dedicated to everything from the EFL Championship, League One, and League Two. And we're talking playoff finals. I mean, we've got a happy chappy next to me, but we'll get to you in a second, Dan. Sam, the EFL man tonight. How are you and how's your week been? I mean, I only saw you on Tuesday talking Premier League, but it's great to have you on this show.
This is it. It's lovely. I'm double podding. I got confused then with the intro because it started and I was like, bugger, I've got to say something. And I was like, it's all right, Charles here. I can just chill out and relax on this one. It's lovely to be here. I thought I'd come in for an end of season soiree with you all and chat EFL. So yeah, I'm good. Week's been all right. Still got some issues with the dentist, but we're getting there. So we'll be better soon. How are you?
Do you know what? I'm all right. It's been one of them days today where everything's gone wrong. My internet's playing up tonight as well, so I will pre-warn everyone right now. But I have got two hosts either side of me, so don't worry if that's the case.
Yeah, best of luck, Anne.
And listen to this. Drop the kids off at holiday club because obviously it's school holidays. Still had to work. On my way to work, I split my pants.
Oh no!
Right between my bum as well. So I've had that to deal with all day. So I'm just waiting for something to go wrong. Waiting. But hopefully not, fingers crossed. And
hello.
Smiley, Anne. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. Yeah, I've been a pretty quiet week. I've done a bit of crocheting. I haven't really. That's not my.
That's really impressive.
I was just trying to think of like really boring things I could have done. Watched paint dry, all sorts of things. You know, nothing much happened in my week. You know, let's just skip on. No, yeah, it just mint. Just I've not come down from the cloud I was on Saturday. So yeah, I'm really, really good. Thank you.
I'm actually gutted you don't do crocheting now. I was like, do you want to do me a scarf or something? Like, of a new season?
The missus does, so I'll ask the missus to do something. It's all right, isn't it?
I love that.
I think Ant's going to start making merchandise now for hats.
Oh my God. Hats.
We can have hats.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're good. We're good. Yeah, anything's possible.
Treaty, I'm so happy to see your face. How are you? And how's your
I'm
week
good,
been?
thank you. Yeah, it's been all right. A bit boring, can't lie. I'm missing football, but obviously playoffs, it did help. But yeah, not too bad. I'm good, thank you.
Oh, I always love to see your face. Obviously, I love to see everyone else's, but I love Treaty's face. How big smile. Jen, I bet you're sick of me as well. Double podding, but how are you and how's your week been?
I'm good. I've had a good week so far, so that's good. Just got back from Edinburgh today, so I'm a little bit tired, but I'm doing all right for now.
Love that. And somebody whose face I'm always happy to see. I missed you on Monday. Me and Jen missed you. I mean, you're the B to the JCB.
Yeah.
How are you and how's your week been, Ben?
Well, not the JCB in the National League, put it that way, but no, I'm all right. Yeah, you know, it's a bit up and down sort of week, but yeah, no, I'm over the moon for my man just above me. We'll get up talking about it. Obviously, my week's probably not been as good as his. I haven't been hanging over the week.
I don't think anyone's had a better week than me this week.
Oh, God, no. Otherwise, I'm on the complete opposite, where I'm not really missing football at the moment. I've got to be totally honest. But yeah, I thought I got to come on, you know, in the lower league. I haven't been here for a few weeks now, so looking towards chatting these, you know, great tie-up games, more like one rather than three. But you know, beggars can't be choosers.
Feel like I could do both you and Graham in the chat dirty and start with the League Two playoff. I'm not gonna. Don't.
I think you should.
But we have Kyle. He's put good evening, legends. Hope you're okay. We have Luke. All right, everyone. I'm starting to miss going to the football now to see my club. Oh, bless you, Luke. Bless you. I'm at that stage of the minute where I am missing it a little bit, not too much, but I know in a few weeks I will start to miss it a bit more. It's the pies I miss more than anything. Wait before the new season. We've got Graham. He's looking forward to it, bless him, all week, this show. Good evening, all. Up for Premier League Mackhams and up for Championship Addicts. Woo! I'm so happy for you. We've got our very own Lee as well. Hey, guys, have a great show. Hope you're okay, Lee. We've got Simon. I'm so sorry. I've got a tickle in the back of my throat. I'm trying so hard not to cough. Simon has put, hi, gang. Sean, didn't realise you were that old to do crocheting, Aunt.
Well, it's my missus that's doing it. My missus is 10 years younger than me, so...
Oh, Sean, don't be calling Aunt's Mrs. Old.
Yeah.
She'll come and get you. Watch your back. And Leah's put, Mr. Wembley is back at Wembley on Sunday. I know you should have a season ticket.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a good day for Southend as well at Wembley. Fingers crossed. Fingers
Are you
crossed.
going, Char?
No, I'm not, right.
No.
I really wanted to go, but then because there was obviously all that going on with the tickets, and I didn't want to be that person who, instead of an actual proper fan getting a ticket, they missed out, and then me obviously get one. But bless them, all the Southend fans like, come along, and they've adopted me now, bless them. We've got our very own Claire as well. Be with you, legends, ASAP, little Jeff's awake and partying. Oh, bring her on here. We'll all have a party. We're having a party anyway. But do you know what, Anne? I can't let you wait any longer. I mean,
I'm happy to go League Two.
No, I can't do that to you. I mean, I'm so chuffed. So chuffed. We're all buzzing, absolutely buzzing for you. But please talk to us about Sunderland.
Do you want the whole weekend?
Everything. We want everything you did from when you went to Wembley, the build up to it. We want the whole day. We want to be part of it.
Breakfast cereals, the lot. We
Yeah,
want
what
to
did you
know.
have?
Kind of the train you got and everything.
What was you wearing?
Yeah.
On the top, obviously. What else do you think I was wearing? Just best weekend of my life. And I've just got to say that. I'll get it straight out there. That moment will never, ever, ever be topped. Ever in my life. I've hit the pinnacle of being a football fan. Like, we might go on and win something. We probably won't. Because we're not one of them clubs, but we might go on and win like a League Cup or a FA Cup or whatever. We're never going to be like I doubt we'll ever be like, league winners or whatever like that. But that moment on, I'll get round to that one, but that moment on Saturday, sorry, I don't know what day it is. That moment on Saturday when that goal went in, just blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind. I've like I say, I've hit the pinnacle now. Everything else now in my life is just going to be downhill. But I started off Friday, went down on Friday with a few of my mates and my cousin and all that, and we got there about 2:30, 3:15. We're staying in Islington, so like Islington's not. Ooh.
Each to their own.
Well, I say it, not challenge that, but on the train on the way down, I saw someone have a yogurt on a train. Now, I like a yogurt. I'm a partial to a yogurt, but I don't think I would have a yogurt on a train. You know what I mean? Like, where did he bring a spoon? How did he get a spoon? I was proper like a gas by it. Like why? And it was an M&S one as well, so he was obviously like well up in the world. But hey, but why'd you have a yogurt?
To be fair, right, I have the world's smallest handbag, but everything fits in it. And I probably end up with a spoon in my handbag. I have everything. Like, if you're looking for anything, I have it.
But would you have a yogurt on a train?
Not really. It'd usually be like a chocolate bar or something.
Chocolate bar, yeah.
Might try it. Let's make it a podcast segment. Every time we go on a train or a car from now on, obviously not driving as passenger, we'll have to try out yogurt. It's over a speed bump.
It's a risky bag item, isn't it, a yogurt?
Yeah.
I mean, you're taking that's high risk.
I thought it was very bizarre. I've got to be honest. That
the ones that you push up.
He had a spoon.
But not a spoon.
Yeah. He was feeding it to himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, imagine trying to sort out a Muller corner with that and get that could be absolute carnage. Shocker.
I don't know. Apparently, you had one on the way to London, a yogurt.
I didn't have a yogurt. Claire, I didn't have any yogurt. Don't be doing me dirty like this. I genuinely didn't. I have McCoy's. I full on had salt and vinegar McCoy's, yeah, but I don't think I had a yogurt.
Yeah.
Maybe I had chatting about the yogurt.
Was she sat in a different carriage next to someone else?
Yeah.
I just thought it was bizarre. Like I thought it was bizarre. And bearing in mind where the weekend went, the fact I'm talking about a bloke having a yogurt is mad. Yeah, no one does. That's right. No, but apart from this man. But anyway,
he set a trend off now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Did anyone think this was how Sunderland experienced
experience? Saw a bloke with a yogurt on a train. That's it. Nothing else happened all the weekend. Told you. Saw a man at a yogurt, did a bit of crocheting.
Great weekend.
Absolutely top notch. So anyway, got London, stayed at Islington, which is lovely. Actually, it's lovely. Some nice pubs around there. Ended up in a pub called the Hercules, which is like an Irish pub and stuff. It was really cool. Went to Trafalgar for a bit. Got into the atmosphere and all that. That was mint. It's actually really weird when you go to Trafalgar Square as a football fan, when you're like walking through, like with your Sunderland top on, singing the Eliza Mayenda song, and then you've got like people in like 3-piece suits walking past going to watch Cats or something. You know what I mean? It was proper weird. It was like two different worlds, like. So yeah, we did a bit of Trafalgar. Went back, got drunk, this, that, and the other. Went for breakfast on the Saturday. Nerves were kicking in. Then, like, fair play to Louis for his breakfast. It was the worst breakfast I've ever had in my life, but it did the trick. Got some cans, got on the Uber, went to Wembley, stayed in the Green Man pub, which was mint. Just psyched everyone up. And then got into Wembley nice and early, had a few more drinks and watched the game. And I thought first half, to be fair, I thought we were absolutely awful. I thought Sheffield United came out with massive intent that they should have scored in the first minute. And Anthony Patterson makes one of the best saves I've ever seen. Like, what a wonderful save that is. The fact it's behind him and he gets a big corner, pulls it out. In that same kind of piece of action, Luke O'Nien dislocates his shoulder, so he has to go off. But you're thinking, right, can it get any worse after the first minute? But they were just all over us. They bullied us first half, and Gustavo Riem I thought was outstanding all game. Kiefer Moore was winning everything in the air. They were winning the midfield battle. We couldn't get the ball up to my end. It was a matter of time, and they scored. It was a nice goal. I thought Tyrese Campbell took it really, really well. It was a great ball from Hermer. And that's what they deserve. They deserve that at half time. I'll answer Luke's question there first, if that's all right, because I was literally leading on to that they scored a second goal that did get disallowed off VAR due to offside. I will say I didn't agree with VAR being there. I thought, but it is what it is. So we can't really, if it happened to us, you take it on the chin. I think it was a strange decision because I'm not sure Patterson was saving it anyway, but their lad is impeding him. So I think the right decision was made, but it's the argument of having it there in the final when we don't have VAR, you know what I mean? It's the first time I've experienced it, and I mean, it did us well, to be fair. And I actually quite enjoyed the whole, the whole check was actually for once decent because they made the referee go to the telly, and he announced it over the stadium actually what happened. He said number 21 was interfering with the goalkeeper, no goal, this, that, and the other. And that gave us a massive boost, that did. And that was probably the turning point in the game. Because our heads, we got obviously got let off. They seemed to kind of drop a little bit. And then got half time, and we'd said, we need to change this quite quickly. And he waited, to be fair, until not late on, around about 65th minute, but we just looked more on it then. And apart from Sirkin giving I can't remember who it was, I think it was Brooks, gave them a really good chance. It was a really good save again. But then he brings on Patrick Roberts. He takes off our captain, Dan Neil, who wasn't having a great game, and brings on Tommy Watson, who was leaving and going to Brighton and had been booed by certain sections of the fans. And then we just took over. We took over from them on that. Like Hamer went, Hamer went off for them with an injury, and they just. I think he brought on the wrong subs. He brought like Brent Brereton on, who was playing out wide, and he was just not having the same. Kiefer Moore wasn't winning as many headers. We then took over the midfield. Joe Bellingham, second half, absolutely outstanding, by the way, absolutely outstanding. And everything was going through him. So like he was just winning everything, passing the ball, and we then started to take over. Scored, I thought, a really, really good first goal. Patrick Roberts does unbelievably well. My end, a great first touch, bang. 1-1, we go absolutely mental in the stands. Mental. Jumping over everybody, about 7 rows down, this, that, the other. And I'd said to my cousin, we're not losing this now. As soon as that went in, we're not losing this. And literally about 2 minutes later, Ben Brereton gets the ball and he's going down the line. And then Trey Hume just comes across, bang, gets the ball, gets him. Brereton's still on the floor in Wembley, Like, I felt sorry for the other 2 games that went on because I had to play around Ben Brereton because he's still on the deck now. He's still there lying on the floor. But it was a great tackle. And from that minute on, like, Sheffield United fans started leaving because I think they knew as well what was going to happen. Yeah. They knew what was going to happen. And it comes to, like I said, the 94th minute. Moore plays a dreadful pass. Tommy Watson gets a hold of it. As soon as he gets it, you just know he's going to score as well. It was just made for him. Really nice finish. We all go mad. It's just crazy. We'll see it out full time and cue the tears and cue everything. It was just the best moment of my life, and honestly, the best moment I've had supporting this club. And we've been through the ringer, and we've been down to League One, and we've had players who shouldn't have played for us, and we had players on Premier League wages just walking around in League One, and the fact that this team now, who 4 years ago, and there's no disrespect to any of the players that we've had, but we've had like Kyle McFadzean, we've had Lawrence de Bock, who I don't think anyone's heard of, Jake Vokins, Declan John, all these like just plodders really. And now we've got a team who have got us promoted to the Premier League, and they're not even that old. It's like an average age of 24, and I think that was like why the whole emotion was. I don't know why I cried. I just did. You know what I mean? I thought I held it in, and then all of a sudden I turned around. I think because this lad below us was crying, only a little lad. I was like, "Oh man, we've won. It's fine. Don't worry." And then I turned around, and I think just everything hit us at the same time, and I was properly went. And then like I started thinking like, obviously we all know us as mates, and that I'm starting to break now. I've had like issues with my dad this year and stuff, and he's not been well, and I really I just got to that point where I really wanted him to be there to experience it, you know what I mean? I missed him, you know what I mean? And that just brought it back on again and all that stuff. But yeah, it was class, just a great day. And obviously celebrated well into the night. Went back to the Hercules, started Irish dancing and all that stuff. And it was tremendous. It was, like I said, the best day of my life. And I mean, as you can tell by my voice, I still haven't properly recovered. And that would have been a long telephone call, about 40 minutes. Fair play, Simon, fair play. But we were honestly outstanding. And I think they deserved it as well. I thought first half, fair play to Sheffield United first half, I thought were excellent. But I think Regis Debris gets his subs absolutely spot on, and Chris Wilder doesn't. And that's what wins us the game. Wilder took Tyrese Campbell, who was causing us problems. Took Ryan Brewster off, who I thought was having a good game as well. Brought Tom Cannon on. I mean, it's and that's what won us. We brought, Patrick Roberts on. We brought, again, like I said, Tommy Watson. And that's a big call because the lad's leaving. That was his last kick for Sunderland. But we brought on players who were going to make an impact. Wilson Isidore, and they all did make an impact in their own way. And that's what won us the game. Our subs to be that proactive was superb by the gaffer. And yeah, we deserved it. We definitely did.
I just have a couple of questions for you in the chat. So first one I'll go to Luke.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so he has to sign now because obviously we had him on loan, and it was if we went up, we had to pay 20 million for him. So yeah, great news for us because he's a wonderful footballer, but bad news for I can't even remember his name. He was that bad. We broke our transfer record on. Did he end Dong with the tree string hair? Bad news for you, son.
The G-string.
We're raised into history now. But yeah, I mean, he's class. He's class. He's a Premier League player already. So I'm glad that we've got him. Obviously, there's a little bit of like rumours, this, that, and the other, that we might be losing Job. What will happen with him. You know what I mean? I'd love him to stay for a year. But if his next step as a footballer is to go to Germany and, go into a Champions League team with Daniel, then I wish him all the best because he massively deserves it. He was absolutely incredible that second half. And bearing in mind, he's a young lad who's not from Sunderland. The way he's like at the end, he's crying and this, that, and the other. He's took this club to his heart, and he didn't have to. You know what I mean? He could just have played and this, that, and the other. His talent would have probably took him to places anyway. But the fact he's got it in here makes him a wonderful player. I thought he was outstanding second half, and I see there's been a few, not just on there when I did have a go in the chat like a few weeks ago, but online and stuff like that. If you don't think that lad's a good footballer, you're watching the wrong sport, because he is unbelievable. He is just as good as his brother, and I'll say, and I mean that, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I think he has got such a high ceiling, and we've just got to forget that. He's not his brother. He's a number 8. He's not a 10. And just go off that and you'll be all right.
I just wanted to bring this up from Paul as well.
If I could, I would have done that. That's the euphoria of it. If I could, I probably would have done. Like the top came off and...
was it like the FCA celebration?
it was pretty... I'll just let the dog out. It was, yeah.
No problem.
It was pretty much... Yeah, pretty much like that. It was pretty much FCA on ecstasy, to be honest. Yeah, it was class. It was just unreal. Yeah, if there was a space where I could have run, I would have run. I've not fully recovered yet, Husky, to be honest. My voice is still gone. I went back to work yesterday. I didn't know where I was. Honestly, you could have asked me any question in the world yesterday, and I honestly didn't have a clue. My brain's still not working. Yasmin, my girlfriend's like, the last 3 days, do you want to we watch the 1% Club? She said, do you want to watch? And all that. And I'm like, Yasmin, honestly, I'll be out the first question. I haven't got a clue what's going on here. I haven't got a clue. So any like a lot of people are like, oh, what do you think about next season? It's going to be difficult this scenario. I really couldn't care less. I really could not care less at the moment.
Enjoying the moment.
In
the moment. Yes.
Yeah. Give it a couple of weeks. And once the fixtures come out, it'll probably become real. But at the minute, I just want to enjoy that because obviously we are going to have to lose players. There's a big squad that, with the best one in the world, some of them aren't good enough. Like the fringe players and everything like that. But a lot of them are, a lot of that 11, like Manchester put there, the two chances there. Ballard and Mayenda, I think, can cut. Ballard's a wonderful defender. And Eliza Mayenda, bearing in mind last season, he was playing for Hearts under 23s, and we sent him out on loan. I don't think our manager last season, any three of the managers quite got what he was. And yeah, I agree with that, by the way, the VAR thing. I do agree with it, but it happens. It's happened, and we can't take it back. They can't take it back now. For me, though, and again, I don't know if you've watched it, the right decision eventually was made. So it's worked, but I understand the kind of, the argument of should it be in a championship. Yeah. But again, like, it's the richest game in the world, isn't it? It's the richest game in football, I call it. So if it was decided on, a mistake or this, that, and the other, but if that had been a normal game and that got given, it was offside, so yeah. It was correct. So, but I totally get it. Mepham, we're not sure yet. I think he's going to decide. We can sign him, but I think other teams want him. We haven't got anything in any obligation to sign him. It was just, I think he's out of contract as well. So fingers crossed because he's mint. But yeah, I can't remember who it was there. Ranks have put Ballard outstanding. Mayende playing for, like I say, playing for Hibs under 23s last year because none of our managers knew what he could do, and Regis has just given him a chance, and he is massively taking it. He is a raw, fantastic talent, and I can only compare him to like a little bit like Thierry Henry for us. Like he scores goals, he runs past players, he can hold the ball up well. He has got everything. And if we can like build a team around him and put some experience in with him so we can learn, he will be a very good striker. So yeah, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Teresa, any thoughts on the game? Are you happy as well? Sunderland got promoted.
Of course I am. I said Sunderland would be promoted. I said it. I did say it. And yeah, I'm buzzing for Ant, honestly. When that goal went in from Tommy Watson, I think I screamed like so much. I was like, what the hell is wrong with me? I was like, what is happening? But honestly, I'm so happy for you. Like I said to one of my friends, I was like, we need something different in the Prem, and Sunderland can bring that. And I'm honestly so happy that you got promoted. Like honestly, so happy for you.
Oh, thank you. And I said Bradford to go up as well, so there we go.
See, Ben, this is what we do. We support other people's teams. You did say Dale would go up.
I support you.
Can use that forever now.
Come on, Oldham.
You did that. To be fair, though, Shah, a couple weeks ago when you were at the game, how collectively gutted we all were.
I know. I know. Jen, what were your thoughts on the game?
I thought it was a good game. Obviously, when Sheffield United scored first, I was like, oh, God, here we go. This is it. Like, they're going to go up to the Premier League and it's going to be the same old. But I said from the start, you can't count Sunderland out. Look what we've done in the playoffs. Like, 95 minutes pretty much in every single playoff. Like, you literally, if I was a Sunderland fan, I think I'd need therapy after this season because...
Oh, 100% I
do. I couldn't... like live with a team that likes to score in the 95th minute for a winner. Like I'd be on the floor, probably dead at this point, to be honest. But no, I'm really, really happy for Sunderland. They deserve it. They deserve to be back in the Premier League. A club like that should be in the Premier League. They shouldn't be in the Championship. So I think next season's definitely going to be exciting in the Premier League. But we'll see. We'll see what it brings.
Shah, just to touch on what Jen said there regarding like the last minute, and I think. With that, I kind of agreed. That's why I was a little bit more confident last week when I was saying I think it was our time. We've never beat Coventry for 40 years. Like at Coventry, we go down there, we win 2-1 with a goal in the 88th minute. Then we bring them back to the Stadium of Light. They score, and it looks for all the world it's going to penalties. And Big Dan Ballard pops up with a header in like literally the last kick of the game. And then you've got on Saturday where a lad who's a Sunderland fan who says he's leaving the club in March scores with his last kick as a Sunderland player. That doesn't happen. That won't happen to any other club probably ever. You know what I mean? That is a unique moment. And I remember saying to my cousin, a few seats next to us, like, can you imagine if Netflix was documenting us this season? I mean, that would be bad. We'd actually have a decent Sunderland Till I Die series instead of the palaver they had us on for 2 years. And that's why I think everyone is so like emotional and that release came because you've seen and everyone, it's been there in black and white and it's been there in front of a national audience, a worldwide audience. Now, we were a laughing stock for too long. We were a laughing stock for like 5, 6, 7 years. And then we finally found someone in an owner who's actually took us for what we are, brought in some wonderful people like around, like in the back rooms, like Christian Speed and Stuart Harvey, players, people like that. Took a massive gamble on Regis Debris because no one knew who he was. No one in England knew who Regis Debris was. And we were gonna we had Michael Beale last year and Tony Mowbray, who did his best. Don't get us wrong, did wonderful. And the fact that he's managed to, turn this side what we were last year, and you all saw what I was like last year. I was ready to, I was ready to dial it in. You know what I mean? I was so despondent. Yeah. And then this is a year later. It's 12 months later, and we're a Premier League team. And that's like, I think that was the whole release. That was everyone was like that. It's like shit. You know what I mean? But it's all those bad moments, and we've had some bad moments, you know, going to Gillingham and fearing for your life, you know, getting beat 6-0 off Bolton, going out and standing and getting, you know, like rain down in the bloody it should be, shouldn't it? Getting rained down in the game, getting abandoned. You know, seeing like League One plodders who wanted to do the freaking Alan Shearer celebration, seeing all that crap, and then to have that moment on Saturday to really feel that again and have this club where it belongs now was the total release. And I think that's why, like I say, I think that's why a lot of people started crying, because it was just an outpour of emotion, and like kind of the dark days are kind of over. And that's spot on, by the way. We're come up with that to the end, because you can't say anything else, can you? Like we do. You cannot count us down. You cannot keep us down. And yeah, there you are.
Sam, I'm gonna come to you with this. What Ryan has put, because obviously it's mentioned a certain somebody who plays for Manchester United. We will get to that.
Hands off.
First, we'll start Jordan. We'll start about Jordan Henderson first. Does anybody think that will happen?
I think it could. Like, he's getting back into the England squad now. Tuchel's obviously seeing him for the player he is. So I think probably him being back in the UK is probably the best thing if he wants to stay in the England squad, because we've seen like people go abroad sometimes and they don't always get in the England squad. So I'd love to see him back. I love Jordan Henderson. I've always loved him. So I'd love for him to come back to the
UK. Sam, Amad Diallo. I mean, is it Manchester United's plan, surely?
He's the only one that is. Christ. And, the rest of them I'm not that bothered about, but that man's not going anywhere. No, he's a wonder boy. I think Sunderland just enjoyed the time you had with him. I think he's destined for the stars, that boy. But
he might not be after yesterday, like sticking his fingers up at the crowd.
Did he? I mean, to be fair, he's probably as fed up with them being out there as I am. It's sort of like, come on, we all need a break. It's all too much. We need a bit of time off. But no, I think on the Jordan Henderson one, I think that's perfect. If I look at the Sunderland squad, that's what they now need. They need that experience. They need that know-how. Even Jordan Henderson's maybe not going to play every minute of every game, but to have that experience, that know-how in the squad is exactly why, as much as a lot of us don't like it, that Thomas Tuchel's got him in the squad, because that's kind of what he wants. He wants to build off of it, and it's what that young Sunderland side need going up, is adding the right experience. And obviously, with his homegrown boy and all of that business and coming back, it's kind of right. I think he's pretty much done. Because Ajax absolutely tanked the title in the Dutch league as well. So I'd imagine that none of them are popular over there at the moment either. So he'd probably be quite happy to come back. But Amad Diallo, no thank you. Keep him where he is. I've got a number of others I can offer you, but
Then on the game, what were your thoughts on the game?
Well, I mean, all they're going to say is I think Anthony Patterson deserves a free pint in every pub he goes to in Sunderland, because everyone talks about, obviously, it's the strike, obviously it's Watson that gets the winning goal. That save in the first 2 minutes is huge, because it's hard to come back, in like saying the richest game in football, a goal down after a couple of minutes against a side that have got good experience, and have done really well to see out games this year. That's the thing, that there's a huge turning point. I know, Sheffield United do go and score and then probably have a goal disallowed as well. But at the same time, that goal goes in. I think that changes the complexion again completely, because Sunderland were not in the same game until, like I say, the last 25 minutes. But then again, like I say, as soon as they got that equaliser, I think just with the whole atmosphere changed and everything like that, and like as Anne said, I think there was no way that Sunderland weren't winning that game. I think even I sensed that as well. But the maturity for that winning goal from Watson is absolutely superb, because how many top players will get the ball in that position? His eyes will lit up and smash it over the bar. To control that finish into the bottom corner at that stage of the game. Absolutely huge credit to to Watson, because and that's the thing. That's probably one of the best moments maybe we've seen at Wembley since it opened, just because that we know the passion of Sunderland supporters, what it brings, and as Anne said, you see it from the documentary about how much it means. I mean, this win does so much for the club, not only for the club but for the city as well. I think just economically, as everyone knows, it's a working class city. Football is all that a lot of people hang on to, you know, in that area of the country, and to see, you know, those fans in tears and everything like that, and the limbs of that winning goal, like absolutely brilliant. I think I'm absolutely over the moon for you, Anne, because like, I've followed, you know, Sunderland's progress, you know, ever so closely ever since obviously the documentary was first released, and plays for the likes of Luke O'Nien as well. You know, like he was a man that he joined just as you dropped into League One, didn't he? And so, and I know obviously it's a heartbreak of him going off after about 10 minutes. You know, obviously it's damaging, but to see him run down, you know, the wing after the equaliser was brilliant. And yeah, they know they're in for a tough ride next year, and they have to make a lot of changes, something, because I think as the mistakes have shown from the promoted sides from this season is also from the likes of Ipswich, Leicester and Southampton, they relied too much on the squads that got on there rather than you know, trying to invest in a bit of money. And I think they've got to make some tough decisions, because if they want to stay in the Premier League, they're going to need Premier League experience. And as we say, the likes of Jordan Henderson might help, because just having an experienced head in there that knows the league inside out and just provides a bit of composure and calmness and a bit of, you know, of tutoring, you know, mentoring to those younger players, be huge for them. So yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled that Sunderland back in the Premier League, because we have missed them, to be fair, and I'm looking forward to the old derby next year. Like, I'll be absolutely brilliant. We've missed it for such a long time.
Sam, do you have anything to add on the game? And also, are you excited to see Sunderland back in the Premier League? And obviously, Albion on Tuesdays. You needed a new team member, and you've got two.
I know there's been times where I've just woken up and smiled and thought, he's coming on a Tuesday. I'm waiting for years to see that man on a Tuesday. No, I'm buzzing for Sunderland to be there, as well for Ant, because he deserves it, and we know kind of the journey Sunderland last year's been on. But like 8 years, is it, Ant? I think, since the Premier League. Yeah. It's quite a journey to sort of be on, and obviously, no offense to Sheffield United, but I've kind of seen that done that last few seasons, and none of us are just that excited to cover that again. So it'd be nice. It's nice to see sort of new team coming back in there that have the history, that have the have the fan base, have the support, and it's going to be another exciting one. But the game was it just, as you said, it kind of flowed into that way in the second half, where you're watching it go in. The inevitability feeling starts to come when you see them add these moments up. Because it was a final that had, you know, it was the best of the three, let's be honest, but it had everything kind of in it. That phenomenal save, like as Ant said, one of the best saves, obviously. It reminded me a bit of, you remember David Seaman made one? I went it clear against Sheffield United in the FA Cup semi-final. It was behind him, and he kind of goes, it was part behind him, he said, fantastic save. You've had a disallowed goal, and then you can kind of see the game change a little bit, and just, fantastic finish, and what's fantastic goal from Endo as well. The first touch, just kind of easy, calm. There was no panic. There was boom, boom, know what I'm doing. And it just had that inevitability kind of feeling. And as Ant said, to do it in the last minute from so my club has done nothing this season, but I've had a lot of last minute moments, and they'll stick with you forever. They're the ones that you'll never, ever, ever forget. So incredible day. And as Ant says, you just enjoy the summer, enjoy the ride. Everything in those early parts is just going to be excitement of kind of what's happening, and then transfers. And then you see the Premier League's a different animal, as we've seen this season and last season. That gap's massive, you know, no matter what you do, no matter what you chuck at it, because the teams that are in there now, you look at who you're going to pick off. That's what you got to look at, who do you pick off. And in the past, you'd be looking at people like Nottingham Forest, Brentford, both been fantastic this season. Everton are on the rise. That's a problem. Then the other side's down there. You can't, imagine that eventually Tottenham, United, West Ham, another team as well with a lot of backing. It's very difficult to see who's going to kind of be the ones you can pick off. But it's just enjoy that journey, enjoy that first part, and those first couple of games at the Stadium of Light are going to be going to be rocking. So especially that first derby is going to be insane.
It feels like a new era as well for Sunderland, because like they got over the hoodoo of Wembley, where they seem to go there and lose every single time they went there. Obviously, until a couple of years ago when they beat Wickham, and that's the thing. They have the role reversal of Saturday compared to, was it 6 years ago against Charlton? Where they conceded the last minute goal. So it just feels like something's changing a little bit, and maybe it's now everyone will look at Sunderland seriously and not see him as a piss take, think that it's an easy 3 points. Because I think what Sunderland have got that maybe promote teams and had the last couple of years is the sort of support base that will make the stadium rocking. Yeah. And I think if they get that sort of support that they did on Saturday, they've got every chance of staying up this year. They're going to have to stick with them, because it will be tough, and they'll know that, first and foremost. But if any team that can pull it off, to survive in that division, in that sort of club in history, I think Sunderland will do it for me. But they've got to make sure they get the right signings in as well.
You got to think as well. Again, I'm not really like thinking about too much, but obviously the PSR rules and everything like that. We only spent, apart from Enzo Lefebvre, which is obviously the 20 minutes we're going to have to pull off for him, but we only spent 9 million. So we're like Leeds spent a fortune. Burnley, I think, spent a fair bit of money. Dan will probably correct us on it, but at Sheffield United, who didn't go up, spent 13 million on Tom Cannon, who cost more than all of our signings did. So we've got money to. I think we'll have money to put in, but I think this is all right. I think it is going to be difficult. Of course, it is. And Sam hit the nail on the head there, where you're looking at. We're going to have to look at beating teams in and around us. It will be Burnley, Leeds, but then you're thinking who's the ones who are going to drop, because Tottenham finished fourth bottom. I can't see them getting worse next season. And Man United, God knows what's going on, but I can't see them getting worse. And then it's like, so who's going to drop?
Wolves
is it going to
struggle?
Wolves possibly,
Definitely.
But then there's another one. You've got to think of another team, so you're going to have to look at beating. We're going to have to. I mean, it's going to 100% rely on home form and beating teams that are in and around us at home, picking up the odd result away from home, this, that, and the other. But give me fourth or bottom next season, I'll bite you under. You know what I mean?
It will be that home form will be massive, because that was Ipswich's problem this year. They only won once. I think they only beat Chelsea at home. And everyone said when they went up, you've got to make that home form count, and they didn't. And it's just such a, the teams that have stayed up in the past have made that difference and have made that a massive fortress and difficult to get to. So, and getting those early wins, but all three sides, I don't think, won before October, November. If you suddenly pick something up in August and you've got something to hang on to and to fight and say we're here when we mean business, then it'll make people set up. And as you say, Wolves possibly are ones, but again, we don't know. New manager, what they're going to do this summer, and it's tough. But hey, Sunderland have got as good a chance for me as anybody who's coming up. So.
Yeah, just to quickly touch on Henderson, I think it's a no-brainer. I really do. I think it's a no-brainer. Sunderland lad, he was there on Saturday. He can bring along Dan Neil, bring along Joe if Joe stays, bring along Chris Rigg. I think it's an absolute no-brainer, and I really would like it. I think that would be my first signing if I was Regis or whoever wants to make the signing. That would be a brilliant signing. It really would. And he's still got it, He's still got it. I know he went to Saudi and all that stuff for the money and stuff like that. But you find me a player who wouldn't do that. Find me a human who wouldn't do that. If I got offered 10 times my salary, I think I'd go. You know what I mean? And obviously at Ajax, I watched him a couple of times. He's still got something. You know what I mean? He can still. If he was going to I'd say Fulham or something, I'd say that's a clever signing for Fulham or whatever. Or if he went to one of the two teams who go up, it's a clever signing. So for us, the fact he's coming home will be unreal. And obviously on Ahmad, I mean, it would shock us to get him. But he's worth a cheeky bid, isn't he? Since Man United, all the Man United players are for sale, so he's worth a cheeky bid. But yeah, I mean, I'll think about that when it comes.
Just talking, obviously, about players and stuff, and I know there's been a couple of links with Gustavo Hamer, obviously from Sheffield United. I know Everton are one that are looking for him, Premier League clubs. Do you think Sheffield United will lose a couple of players, obviously, this season? And what about Wilder? Do you reckon Wilder will stay? Do you reckon he'll have a push at it next season? Do you think they'll be up there, or what's everyone's thoughts? I know, obviously, it's hard to tell now, but
I mean, he's failed, though, hasn't he? You look at their squad, you look at how much money they've spent, and you look at they've kept a lot of the players who went down with them last year. The likes of Gustavo Hamer, the lad, I can't remember his name, the right back, Amazodzic. You look at them players, and are they going to stay? He may have said them, give us a year, we'll be back. You know what I mean? And they had the points deduction and all that stuff, but I think they'll lose. I think they've got some good players. Now, I think Hamer's a fantastic footballer. I've said this for a few years. I think he's a wonderful player. I think he deserves to be in the Premier League. I think Ryan Bruce will be difficult to keep as well if the team takes a risk. But I think they'll lose a fair few. The goalkeeper's a good goalkeeper as well. The lad who came from Plymouth. Yeah. Burrows, the left back, good player. Teams will be looking at Sheffield United, looking at looking at looking at their players and thinking, "How shall we take a chance?" I mean, you got to think as well: do they now have to sell? Because they have failed. And yeah, they'll get another season of parachute money, but yeah, I kind of fear for them, to be honest. And it's a shame because like I say, first half they played really well, and I like Sheffield United as a club, but
Treaty, what's your thoughts on Sheffield United? Obviously, next season, do you think the same as Ant? Do you think they'll struggle, or do you think they'll still be up there?
I don't know. I think obviously it's early to say, but I think they could struggle just obviously off the back of this. But then it's like you don't know what's going to happen in the summer, and then maybe they'll just have like that surge of like, all right, we failed at the playoffs. Let's just try and do one better type thing. And I think if Wilder's still there next season, he's that sort of manager that's like wants to get the best out of his players. He's always like proper determined and like dedicated to get something good out of his players. I feel like he'll take on that challenge to potentially get into the Prem.
Jen?
Yeah, I think it'll be tough for him. Obviously, losing this playoff final, it's going to hit the players hard. So it's how they come back from that when they're back in training, they're back in the ground. And if he does stay as manager, then I think they'd be stupid to let him go because he's failed at getting them up, but he's got them there. If you replace him with a different manager, that different manager's going to have to get to know the players, do a new tactics, all that stuff. So I think they'd be stupid to get rid of him, keep him and see what happens. And then if you get to like halfway through the season and it's not happening, then change it. But for now, I would definitely keep him there.
Ben, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that getting rid of Wilder would be a silly move. Though he's been there and done it, with Sheffield United. He's brought so much success to the club in the past. I think to lose that sort of experience maybe at this stage wouldn't be ideal. I think it's going to be difficult for them to keep hold of some of those players. I think Leeds probably thought that as well when they lost to Southampton last season in the playoff final. I thought they were going to lose a lot of players and they wouldn't, get back in towards the the automatics and that, and then they're going to smash it the next season. So it really does depend. But you've got the three teams coming down from the Premier League that will be looking to bounce back straight away, particularly Southampton and Leicester. But it's such a tough division to get out of. They've got enough about them, Sheffield United, but they have to do really well to keep hold of some of those players. And if not, they need to bring the right ones in. Otherwise, I think you may be looking even players might be a slim chance for them. But they've been around there for the last few years. It wouldn't surprise me if they just get their heads up and go again and really go for it next year.
The reckon Leicester might start on -12 though, don't they? Because they've
points deduction. Sam, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, he stays for me. I mean, he loves the club. He's local as well. It is, as Ben kind of said there, that's what you keep. It's what Leeds did. You re-go and build again. I just think in the Championship, he's perfect. You've got to take into consideration that both Burnley and Leeds finished with 100 points this season, and Sheffield United had a points deduction. So you said if Leicester have got one, you've got a question mark. Southampton have got a completely new manager, new to the league. Things are going to be different for them. You don't know what Southampton are coming down. Okay, Ipswich with Kieran McKenna, but can they replicate what they did last time in the Championship? There's probably more questions of the team coming down than there were this time last year because you kind of knew what you were going to get from Burnley and Sheffield United in that season. So I think he's perfect. The issue for me with Wild is that next step. If they were the ones getting back to the Premier League, as we kind of saw a little bit, I think in the playoff final, that kind of pragmatism only gets you so far. I think there's a certain point where they'd have to sort of try and switch things up and become something else. But for next season, I think he's perfect. I think they keep him. But they're going to lose a lot of players, but they keep Wilder for sure, I think.
Anything else anybody wants to add on this game? No?
Hello, the lads.
I know we're going to have a very happy Graham in the chat, so we will move on to obviously the League One game. So Graham, get ready, send us your thoughts. But yeah, Charlton 1, Leyton, Orient 0. And as I mentioned off air as well, and obviously watching the game, this is true to the saying, it does not matter about stats in this game. It is all about goals because Leyton Orient, the possession they had, the chances they had, and then they obviously went and lost 1-0 against Charlton. Sam, did you manage to catch any of the game?
I did see a fair portion of bits of it, and she said exactly that. Like Charlton took the moment with a fabulous free kick. on the tips of the keeper, so it's kind of one of them, a kind of save or maybe height, but it was a great whip from Gillespie, I think. Plymouth. Yeah. I think Plymouth lads, an Oggy free kick, you could call it, as it whipped into the corner. But it was just one of those games. I think I said to you guys off it, I've never seen so many deflected shots that kind of just perfectly came off the bar. Or so it was just kind of like everything sort of like, that's deflect, and it's almost, it's deflect, and it's almost. And it just seemed a little bit that I thought Charlton were really disciplined, made things difficult. There was a lot. You look at the stats, it looks like Leyton Orient had lots of chances, but a lot of them were kind of one-man mission kind of things. There was no rhythm of play to what they were doing. It was sort of guys on the edge of the shots taking pop shots and getting places. So just thought they did kind of really well. I think Kelman of Leyton Orient was probably their biggest threat. But for Charlton, just again, another big club that have kind of been taken a while to kind of come back around. So I remember Charlton in the Premier League for kind of years. And for them to get back to the Championship. Nathan Jones as well, that's a manager who'd had absolutely his name dragged through the mud with his time at Southampton and had to kind of rebuild. And I think he said afterwards, I didn't go to League One, I went to Charlton. And it was kind of, he felt that was a statement that I'm coming back to the Champions League. And Champions League, I mean, you get there, Graham. Never mind, a couple of seasons, you never know. But no, Charlton, it was one of those typical, you score, defend what you have, and that's kind of been their mantra through the playoffs. And it's a successful tactic. The playoffs have to be attacked in a sensible 100%. Way. It's not, and everyone's kind of like expecting free flowing, amazing. You're not going to get that. There's so much at stake, and it's very difficult for the team that are behind because the panic sets in, and you can see it the whole season suddenly under threat, and it can happen. Like if you games like that, a bit like Anthony experience, if you get the equaliser, the whole thing can tip on its head. But the longer that goes, if you can't, and you've got a team that feel comfortable defending, then difficult to break down. So yeah, I mean, happy for Grant to get there. My late granddad was actually a Charlton fan, so not a massive sort of big football fan, but so it was nice sort of smiling down on the weekend as well. So nice to see Charlton get back to the Championship. That'll be a nice addition.
That's one thing I did want to mention as well, Sam. Obviously, Charlton this season, they have been very good defensively and very hard to break down. I know Graham's mentioned it a few times as well. And we've seen, especially with the lower playoff games, and this is no disrespect to anyone, but those kind of teams are the ones who have been obviously winning and coming up trumps. Obviously, as we've seen it in the League Two playoffs, the League One playoffs, the ones who are hard to break down and not the possession style ones, because I think there was a stat going around, and the ones who have been playing like the possession-based football and trying to play that kind of football, who don't have that plan B, have struggled in the playoffs.
They get stuck, and you can see that kind of panic set in. And as you said, at the playoffs, but also the FA Cup final, the Europa League final, exactly the same. Yeah. Both teams, and and there's no better team than Manchester City than breaking down a low block, and they couldn't do it. So it just shows that kind of a final is that what you end up with that kind of impatience, and that's why Leyton Orient were taking shots from kind of where they were taking it. And okay, one of them, those deflections could have gone in the corner, and it's a different game, get that. But it wasn't coming from them ripping Charlton open at opportunity after opportunity. It was kind of, we've got the ball. Well, bugger, we better have a shot. And so they did, and then no momentum. So as you said, like it's interesting that I wonder how many people look at that and they look at the playoffs and go, we need to play this certain way. And if you're someone like Charlton who already have that in your style, then it suits you better.
And I know you've said, like, throughout this podcast, Charlton are a big club. Obviously, you've always said about Graham as well. I bet you're happy. I bet you're really happy, aren't you? Because you always say week in, week out, like, Charlton should not be in League One.
Yeah, and obviously, if you can cast your mind about last week, we had like a few different people on, but I was the only one who said Charlton. I was the only one. He was all went Leyton Orient. He's all went Leyton Orient. Who were Graham in the chat? Wanted to. He's been here since day one, and no one.
I jinxed teams, though. I jinxed teams. That's why I went for it.
Believes them apart from me. But yeah, they are. You look at. They've been on a similar journey to what we've been. Apart from theirs has lasted a lot longer. You know what I mean? But they're a club who's, the ceiling is so like, There we go. See,
I'm just saying, Graham, I had you from day one. I won 50 quid on you. So.
And like I say, you know, they've had some dreadful times, dreadful owners, and everything like that. You know, Charlie Meffin, but you know, players like that, and for them to do it, and I was chuffed out. I was like coming back on the train, and obviously the last thing I wanted to think about on the train home was football, and you know, I was just, you know, in a mess, to be honest. You know, very hungover. But when I seen it scored, I was like, get in. You know, I am chuffed for them. You know, I think Charlton could come up and stay up. You know, and I didn't think Leyton Orient could do that. So yeah, chuffed a bit. Chuffed for Graham, like I say, he's a lad, like just mentioned before. He's been a fan of ours on here for day one. He's always said some nice things about Sunderland as well. You know, we've had 2 horrendous playoff finals against him. So I'm glad we don't have to play them next season. I'll say that. But yeah, well done, and I'm glad that you enjoyed your day, because it's Wembley's such a special place when your team's won. It really is.
Ben, what's your thoughts on Charlton? Happy same as Dan?
Well, I mean, I was sort of sitting on the fence more because, I mean, I secretly wanted Orient to win just because of the story for the last 6-7 years where they've gone into the National League, and, you know, one came away from being in the Championship, because obviously they've had the playoff heartbreak in the past, as I'm sure a lot of Orient fans remember, when they bottled a 2-0 lead against Rotherham and then, you know, lost on penalties in the end. But obviously, look, you know, from our perspective, you know, I'm delighted for Graham and Charlton, because look, they are a massive club. I think you could see the fact of how many supporters they took up to Wembley, because you couldn't get a ticket, and then there's still empty seats in Orient. Bear in mind, both clubs are very near to Wembley, so there's not really any excuse for it. And like, it is the best place to win, you know, like for any game at all. But a playoff final, playoffs are the best way to go up, and I think Charlton proved that. And I think like that's the thing. I managed to catch bits of the game, and I think, I always say in playoff finals, first goal is massive. I think that any game you say that, but I think in a playoff final, when how many games end 1-0, because like teams will just sit on it, like because of what's at stake. And Orient, as the game went on, they knew they needed to throw a few more bodies forward. They got a little bit unlucky in a couple of occasions where they've hit the crossbar, but I think Charlton, you know, probably just about deserved to win the game. Again, the goal keeper Josh Keeley will be disappointed, didn't keep it out. I think it's a good height for him. I think he just didn't get quite enough strength in his wrists to push it out. But look, you got to give, you know, that's Nathan Jones a lot of credit, because he, before Christmas, he was under a lot of pressure from supporters after having such a good start to the season. And then they really dipped. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the season, they've come back and been on this brilliant, you know, streak. And in the playoffs, they've gone all 3 games without conceding a goal, which is massive, against two games against Wickham, who have been fantastic this year. Everyone's seen that. And then you're going against Orient, who have been probably the form team going into the playoffs, and you know, they've just not had enough in the end. I think again, maybe 1 game too many for them. But yeah, look, Charlton need to be a Championship club again. They're too big of a club to be in League One, and I'm sure a lot of supporters, even the ones coming down from the Premier League, are going to love going back to the Valley and that, because it is, you know, a great day out for supporters.
Do you agree with that, Jen? Do you reckon Charlton should be higher than obviously they have been?
Yeah, no, I agree with what everyone said. I think they're not a League One club. Like, we've been in League One, and there's some clubs when we was in, and I was like, they shouldn't be in this league. And Charlton was definitely one of them, because they're just such a big club. They've got such incredible fans as well. They deserve to be up there in the Championship. And even though I did back Leyton, I am sorry. All right, made a mistake. I'm only not sweat. Right, I've got to say that goal was absolutely incredible, though. It was absolutely amazing. But again, the goalkeeper should have done better. So he's probably kicking himself about that.
Drita, I mean, Bradford have been promoted into League One. Yeah. Are you happy for Charlton, or was you half hoping that you could obviously play them next season?
See, I was a bit on the fence as well. Obviously, I wouldn't mind either team, but obviously it is a bit of a trek going to both grounds. But I actually haven't been to either ground, so I was like, you know what, I'll take whatever. But honestly, I'm so happy for Graham and Charlton. Like, just like what everyone else has said, like, they are a big club. Like, I was even saying to my dad that there's some clubs that you see in each league that don't, like, not deserve it, but they just don't look like they fit in that league. And Charlton's one of those teams that deserve to be in the Championship. Like, they're not a League One side at all. And it's like, I'm just glad that they've actually got promoted this year, and then obviously for Orient, they can just build on and see what happens next season.
We will get on to Leyton Orient in a second. I just feel like, bless him, I've not let him have his moment. I've gone around us all, and Graham has actually had his say. So he has put, if my comment comes up, my mouse has decided not to work. Sorry, Graham. There we go. So he has put, all their chances were outside the box. Our defence were just immense. You're a poet and you didn't know it. Third team to keep a clean sheet in all playoff games since Preston about a decade ago. Love that. Very hard to break down, though, as I mentioned. He's also put, the Championship is the least we deserve to be, in my opinion. And this melted my heart. Much like Anne, there were so many tears during and after the game. Had a moment when I wish Mum and Dad were still here to have celebrated with too. Oh, that's made me feel up. Oh, bless. Oh, no, I'm absolutely buzzing. This as well, Simon has put, did anyone see Nathan Jones making sure the camera was on him before celebrating? Do you know what? Fair play. He's done it. Like, he's worked hard all season. Have your moment, Nate. After all that we were saying about him last week, and people had their opinions on him, if he ever wanted to come on this podcast, we've got to be quite neutral. So you go for it, lad.
I think Graham tweeted about it, didn't he? And he's absolutely right about Nathan Jones, right? He's a knobhead, but he's their knobhead. But as well, right, going back to like that, if you can't celebrate at Wembley, when can you winning your team promotion? Exactly. When can you celebrate? So, you know, he is like Sam's probably right. He probably made sure the camera was on him, this, that, and the other, and he's made it about himself. But we'll let him off. Let him off for 1 week.
Exactly. Go for it. I feel like the celebration police always come out as well. Like, I know it's totally like off conversation, but even last night when Chelsea won the conference, everyone was like, why are you celebrating? They've won the Conference League. It's like they've celebrating a trophy. It's a young team. They've won something after so many seasons, rebuilding. Let them have the moment. If they want to celebrate it, let them celebrate it.
A lot of people forget that, like, the players or like the manager or whatever, they've not been at Chelsea forever. They're not like, and supporters as well. You get different generations, and everyone's like, United, you get United, and you're like, yeah, but some of these supporters haven't enjoyed what I enjoyed in the 90s and the thousands. This is new to them. This is maybe for some Chelsea fans that might be their first. Like Maresca, so much pressure this season. He's gone and won a trophy and got Champions League. Like, all that needs to be taken into account. But yeah, it's just the celebration police, isn't it? You can't, if you're not happy, everyone else can't be happy. It's that kind of approach.
Do you know what? Like I think we got grief about 4 years ago. Now we won the Papa John's Trophy, and it was behind closed doors at Wembley, so we couldn't go. It was like, as I would say, before the Wickham promotion was the first, I've never been to Wembley seen my team win. That went behind closed doors first time we won. You know what I mean? It was like just typical being a Sunderland fan. But that moment, us celebrating that, we got a lot of stick. Like a lot of stick. I got a hell of a lot of stick. I was like, well, what? I've seen my team win a cup. Hadn't seen that before. Seen us win promotion. I've never seen us win a trophy. And it was like, it was something special. But that got our Wembley hoodoo. Oh, shit. Knocked a bloody bottle off. That got our Wembley
humid.
Rants are back.
But that like got our Wembley hoodoo off our backs. You know what I mean? Because every time we'd gone, we went 2 years. The year where Charlton beat us, because we got beat in the final of the Pizza Cup, whatever it was called then, Johnson's Pain Trophy thing. We got beat in the final off that. We got beat off Charlton, and we won that. We never got into the playoff final that year. But you know, literally 2 years later, we went up, and now we're 3 unbeaten at Wembley. So it got that hoodoo off the backs of, at least we know how we can win. Yes, it was different players. It was mostly different players, and there was still a couple there. But it was just that confidence to breed that confidence. So, you know, you can't have a pop at any. And Sam's at the nail on the head there. Chelsea have won a European trophy this season. There's only Chelsea and Spurs who can say that in the entire Premier League this season. They've won a cup. You know what I mean? So Chelsea have already had a better season than the likes of, you know, the big club. Arsenal, who finished second and won nothing. Chelsea have had a better season. They've finished Champions League and won a cup. You know what I mean?
know I liked your rant.
It does infuriate us as well because it's just these snobs, we win everything. Man City have done nothing this season. Yes, they've had a wonderful few years. They've won nothing this season, and people are laughing at Chelsea because they've got the goal to celebrate winning a trophy. Like, sod off. You know what I mean?
Sam, as he passes audition for Tuesday.
This is
it.
it.
I thought I'll get a Premier League question and stuff in there, and then we'll give him an audition, see if he can make it on Tuesday.
He's a man with knowledge. He's just lucky Josh isn't there because he wouldn't have liked that Chelsea big enough to tell you. So, but you'll be all right next season.
On Leyton Orient now, obviously we did mention the journey and stuff, and. Do you know what? Fair play to Leyton Orient, because what a season they've had. Obviously, getting to the playoff final and even the FA Cup run as well. I think they've been brilliant this season. And I just want your opinions. Jen, I'll come to you first. Do you think they will do well again next season, or do you think they will tail off? Do you think now they've had, obviously, a lot of TV on them through, obviously, the Cup run and the playoff final, do you think players will leave? Do you think bigger clubs will come in for the players? What's your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's hard to say because a lot of their good players are loan players, so they're losing a good chunk of their best players, which is like us, half of our squad is loan players. That's what we rely on. So for Orient, I think it's a case of trying to replace them players with either more loan players or buying players. But I think it'll be hard for them to come back next season, but I don't think they'll struggle as much as people think they will. I think they will get the right team around. And even if they get some more loan players, I'll get these loan players back. Some of them might come back. It's possible. Then I don't see why they can't fight for it again. They've already had a whirlwind of a season this season. So I think for the fans, even though they lost, I still think a lot of them are very positive about next season and obviously what they did this season, because none of them expected them to be anywhere near the playoffs, and somehow they got there. So I think for Orient as a squad and everything that they have gone through, I think they'll be fine. I think they'll probably be in the playoffs again next season.
Dreesy, what's your thoughts as well? Because obviously they were in League Two with Bradford for a few seasons. They've obviously come up now to League One. Do you think they will struggle, or do you think they'll be up there again next season? I know it's obviously hard to tell.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I think League One is going to be very tough next season. I'm getting a bit worried, I can't lie, because there's some big teams in League One next season, Bolton, Wigan, Huddersfield, Barnsley. I don't know with Orient, to be honest. Either it's going to be like what this season is. It's just going to be they're going to be playoffs or something, or they're just going to be outside it. I think it just really depends on their recruitment and who they keep. And like Jen said, with their loan players, if they get back a majority of their players, they'll be fine, I think, because they understand this club, the squad and everything. They'll be fine, I think.
Anybody else got any thoughts on Leyton Orient?
I think Richie Wellens has got a very hard job of picking up those players, to be honest. I think, and also not just them, I think the supporters, because it's twice now they've gone to Wembley in a League One playoff final and fallen just short, and in the last decade. And you do think for sometimes, for the likes of Orient, if it's not this year, will it be never, sort of thing? Because as we guys were saying, they're not expected to be in around there. They're not one of those clubs that's got the same amount of money and backing as the likes of your Boltons and your Wigan Athletics. They are, for me, to be honest, small fish in a big pond, to be honest. But I think, Richie Wellens has done a fantastic job, even getting him into there. In fact, they even got him into the playoffs because they were slipping down the table quicker than anything with sort of 5-6 games to go. And they just kept putting themselves back, and to getting themselves into that situation was brilliant. But I think they maybe just a lack of experience, maybe got them there, didn't get them over the line in the end.
Yeah.
I think it is going to be hard for them to replicate the standards of this season. But again, if they can keep a core of that squad together that have been there and done it and will have that experience now, and think, look, we don't want to feel that again next year. No reason why they can't sneak into a playoff place again next year. But they're going to have to make sure they keep holding some of the top players, like as Graham's just saying, likes of Kelman.
That's going to be a problem, isn't it?
Yeah. There'll be a lot of clubs after him. His goal scoring record this year's been brilliant for them, and he's been such a huge player for their successes. And that's the thing; they've got a huge job on their hands. But look, they're a big club, Orient. No doubt about that. But there's bigger clubs in that league, and there are going to be a lot of them will want to bounce back straight away, particularly the ones coming down from the Championship. Plymouth will want to bounce back for sure. So, and I'm sure the other ones will want to follow that. So they've got a lot of competition next year, put it that way.
Reading have just had a takeover as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Very interesting. Obviously, Bolton. I just wanted to get Bolton in there so everyone can laugh at me in the chat. I'm joking, but obviously, they'll wanna do better this season as well. There is a lot of Stockport as well.
Yeah,
you think of Stockport? They're going to really go for it.
Cardiff aren't going to muck about either, I'd imagine.
No. I emphasised that no, Ben didn't. I didn't realise that. No.
And Luton as well, obviously. Luton's gone down, haven't they? So, they're going to want to go straight out. The three teams that have gone down, I think, will be right up there. I know Plymouth have got a new got to have a new manager, because obviously their manager's, I think he's got a shelter, isn't he? Which probably well deserved, to be fair. I thought he did a cracking job at Plymouth. So, fair play to him. But it's going to be interesting. I think as well with Leyton Orient, as already mentioned, hasn't it? Claire mentioned it was last week or the week before. There's a lot of loanees there, isn't there? So they've got to try and get some good loans in there, and then Kelman will go somewhere like Wrexham, won't he? Or Wrexham will probably take a chance and play in the Championship. But I think see what happens with them. Doesn't always work though. We had the same thing.
Yeah,
we never went up. Took us 4 years.
Sam, have you got anything to add on Leyton Orient before we move on?
No, I just think Richie would have done a great job this season, and you said to get to where they are, there is the worry that will it get this good again? You never know. It's a funny thing. No one would have really probably had them there at points this season, so. Strong ending to the season, and always heartbreaking to kind of lose a playoff final and then having to come back and do it. But I'd say you hope for him that they might be able to bounce back. But interesting summer, a lot of recruitment. Exactly, next season is just so much to happen before next season, etc. Transfers will change every 5 minutes, and suddenly someone will buy somebody or get somebody in. You think, well, actually that's a massive one for them. Or you said the team's coming down. Who do they retain? Who do they not? Some big players at those clubs, and then also you forget that a lot of these clubs have got players on loan elsewhere. That will be coming back to them that may have had good seasons lower down the league. Who are going to get their shot next season because they're going to be in League One and they haven't had that chance before. So, no, I think it's Leyton Orient would have been happy to get there, and wouldn't know about losing their flag. Nor would I, Graham. Actually, I'm all right. That's one thing that hasn't happened this season. So who knows? But it won't be Charlton. Charlton will be in the Championship. So good for you, Graham.
Right, League Two. Who wants to start us off with League Two? Because I really need to get another bottle of water because I'm going to have a coughing fit in a minute.
I could start because I did watch the game.
I was like, come on, please.
It wasn't a game for me for the neutral. It was poor quality. Again, the typical playoff final. But Wimbledon, they were absolutely all over Walsall in that first half. I don't think Walsall got anywhere near them at all. And, they had obviously took a big gamble, put in, was it a 35-year-old, Jamie Matt up front for them. And look, he's been a talisman for them, brings plenty of experience, but for me, he just never got in the game at all. Again, the game sort of lacked in quality. I think obviously Simkin made a brilliant save, to be fair, keeping it at 0-0. I think those games such limited chances. And then look, when you get to the 45th minute, any game, it's just a case of just getting half-time, do not concede later on. And obviously, doing it in a playoff final is not ideal. I mean, was it the lad Hipostle, is it? He took the goal really well from outside the box. Funny thing that half the goals have been scored in the playoff final games have all been outside the box. So, just shows, like I say, how we were talking about Shane and how hard it is for teams to break down each other. And I think that's the thing. If anything was going to come for it, was going to be a set piece. And Walsall knew they needed to change it at half time. They waited a while, to be fair, before they brought on, made the sort of double change, bringing on Adoma and our boy Levi Manchi, and because they needed more power up there. And I know, someone knows Levi and what he brings to a team. Like, he brings a lot of power and pace into that side. And for a good 5-10 minutes, those two changes were they were starting to work. I thought they were, a lot more effective going forward, but they just never had the cutting edge and just really struggled to create chances. I think Walsall will probably look back at it in maybe a week or a couple of weeks' time and really regret, what happened on the day, because Wimbledon at times didn't really have to get out of second gear, to be honest, which, will probably disappoint Walsall and particularly their supporters. I think after, the season that they've had, bottling, was it a 15-point, lead at the top, from automatics to losing in a playoff final in that fashion. I think that wouldn't have gone down well at all. It was their last hope of redemption, and they haven't taken it. So, but I'm delighted for Wimbledon. I've got a lot of time for, the fans of Wimbledon, the club, the story and everything. Look, they are still a fairly new club, albeit they've been going for over 20 years now. They're still fairly new, and their rise has been absolutely unbelievable. And the fact they're going to be playing in a higher division now, I think for the first time, above Milton Keynes since, the two clubs disbanded. It's a huge achievement, and Wimbledon fans will probably love not having to go to the Stadium MK next year. So they get to enjoy, the League One days out again. I'm really pleased for them, because what an incredible achievement for them yet again.
Imagine being a Walsall fan. I say it every week, right? And I was kind of hoping for their sakes. I would need therapy. Like, genuinely, I would fall out with football at this point.
That's got to be the biggest bottling, in history. Honestly, I cannot remember a team that have bottled that big of a lead and not got promoted at all.
Yeah,
I feel for them, to be honest, in a way. But I mean, they say Nathan Lowe was the big reason why they didn't secure that. That's I was going to say that automatic spot, and it's obviously proven, because they've struggled in games. I mean, they didn't win for like 9-10 games, didn't they, towards the end of the season, and it's backfired on them, and just shows that you need to keep hold of your best players at any time during the season. And that's why loan players can't rely on loan players, because if you do, they can get called back at any time. And obviously it's proved costly now for Walsall in the end.
It's mad, isn't it? It's just kind of that build-up of, you can imagine the strength. The only thing I can kind of compare it to is where I've played tennis on occasion. You get games where you're so far ahead and you're like just trying to get over the line, and everything's comfortable, and then all of a sudden they pick something up, or they sort of you get a couple of dodgy points, and then like literally your arse falls out, and you suddenly think, oh my god, what's happened here? Like, you completely lose the plot, and that's in like an hour on a tennis court. But to have that week after week after week at training going, got to get 3 points this week, we've got to stop this rot, and then it just builds and builds and builds, and then everyone else is talking about it, and then it's just a horrendous. And for it to end in kind of this way, obviously, as we were all happy, Juicy got it done on the last day of the season with the last kick, but they had that gut punch, and then they go to Wembley and then again. But the way that game kind of went, I thought, from Walsall's perspective, it just looked like they had all the pressure in the world on their shoulders to try and they're like, we have to get out of this. At least we've gone up. If we can get the summer and we've gone up, and then we can draw a line and go, no one won what happened. But to not go up, that's just like, that's definitely a go on holiday and have some time with your families, guys, and come back in pre-season and just let it go.
You would think they have to start well next season, wouldn't you? Otherwise the manager's under massive pressure, because that's a big bottle job. Big bottle job. I can remember, I think it was like, was it Derby under Steve McLaren, who were like quite comfortable in the playoffs, and then they like fell completely out of it. There's been another couple which I can remember, like, I think Sam will probably remember Newcastle back in the early 90s.
Newcastle top of the Prem, they let that go, didn't they?
I was thinking, I love it stuff. That was tremendous. But there hasn't. I mean, to not even go up it must be, you must be crestfallen being a Walsall fan. But the bother is, like, I don't think any of us were that confident about them last week, were we? It was probably Wimbledon's time. And with Walsall, I was actually surprised they got to the final, considering, I thought they'd just fall apart against Chesterfield, wasn't it? Considering, Blackburn got the last kick of the last kick. They must think Walsall fans that the whole world is against them, haven't they? Because they had that game against Newport where I think if they'd won that, they would have gone up, or they would have been close to going up in the handball on the line, which they should have just headed it anyway. And then, they get a last minute kick, Bradford get a last minute goal, and then they go to Wembley and get beat. They didn't show up, so fair play to Wimbledon. I've got to see Wimbledon. And I think it's all three teams. It's a nice story about, like, the playoff winners this year. Everyone like kind of likes Wimbledon. the underdog story, and then you've got two big clubs, sleeping giants, in us and Charlton, who have finally got back to a place where we feel it belongs. So really, really, I think all three, even though the game quality haven't been brilliant, especially in one Ben just mentioned there in League Two, I think all three winners, you got to think that you probably would you'd feel happy about all three of them. And the East curse continues, because I don't think any team has won at Wembley in the East stand this season.
Oldham are in Oldham and not in that one. They're in the one everyone's winning, and I'm hoping Southend. I'm hoping Southend break the curse. I'm praying, honestly.
When is that? Is that this weekend?
Sunday, I think, isn't it? I'm sure. Is it Sunday? I'm sure it's
so,
Sunday,
yeah.
It does feel like, though, doesn't it? Like we've said, I think it's a lot of commentators say it has been the year of the underdog a little bit.
Yeah.
Looking at the stories, I think behind it, thinking Sunderland's troubles, Charlton, that's the thing. Southend. I mean, even going down, like I said, we probably discussed, the non-league shows, is Scunthorpe as well. I think they're starting their redemption, and it's just had that feel bad. And obviously, Wimbledon's another one of those where they've had their issues in the past, and obviously, and it's still raw with a lot of supporters. They still hate Milton Keynes, and they will never go away. But for them to have that moment at Wembley again, because they've done it before in the past. I mean, they beat Plymouth, all those years ago. But to have it again, and by the way, fantastic support. I think didn't they say as well the combined total attendance is the biggest yet for EFL playoffs, something like over 200,000, which by the way, it's fantastic, and it just shows how brilliant our English football system is. You will never get that in any other country in world football. For me, not in this going down as far as the 5th and 6th tier, where you still get 5,000-6,000 people turning up. It's absolutely brilliant, and like I say, a massive amount of credit to all the supporters that went out to support their teams. And it's just, I'd say, we were just a shame we won't get the same on the weekend with Oldham and Southend, because that had a potential as well to break records. But typical National League already deciding that one.
And you know what, as well, it just goes to show that anyone who thinks that the playoffs aren't fair and it should be 3 up and 3 down, or 4 up and 4 down in League Two for League One, it's just mad. And it just gives teams that extra incentive to keep going, isn't it? Like you look at, we were 14 points off Sheffield United and still beat them. I think and it just it's that extra excitement, it's that added excitement that if you're say 8th or 9th in the league and you're still thinking, hang on, we can still do this, and Bradford came from nowhere, didn't they? That was like February, March time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, Bradford came from nowhere, and you're thinking there, like, I know they ended up getting promoted, but like you're thinking there, like, where our season's done, you know what I mean? So it's class. The playoffs, it's such drama. It's horrible to lose, but it's meant to win.
Tell me about it. 3-1 up, Oh, you got to laugh, haven't you?
I love to cry.
Has anybody got anything else they want to add, obviously, on AFC Wimbledon or Walsall?
Not really, no.
Yeah, just happy for Wimbledon, to be honest. Like we were saying about Walsall, like, I do feel a bit bad because obviously it was our goal that put them in the playoffs. So, but honestly, I still think about it.
I'll to be fair.
Yeah.
You told him to
Just don't.
I'm
Derek
happy.
Adams curse.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
I'm going to say it as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
just
piss off
mental,
no
though.
scratch man. That's right.
No, literally.
Yeah.
So make sure anyone in National League that doesn't shake their
I
hand
said, didn't I,
won't know
Jim?
any of the playoffs. Just so you
I
know.
was like, I'm going to make sure Jim gives him a hug and shakes it twice.
I don't think he'd want to hug. Derek's not the kind of person for it.
Oh, you can't turn off a hug off Big Jimbo. It's too nice. It's too nice. But yeah, that is the end of the football chat for now. That is the end. But massive congratulations to any fans who do support any of those teams in the chat. I mean, I love the playoffs. Like, honestly, I love the playoffs. Like, this is what each season is about. And even though it obviously is gutting for the ones who don't make it, Ben, isn't it? Me and you.
Yeah.
We cried together.
It's just a perfect like crescendo in it to like the fact. 'Cause I think otherwise that last day happens and everyone's like, oh no, what now? What? But it just drags that next couple of weeks, and it means everyone, even if you're not involved, your team's not involved, then there's an interest and just to see with it sort of kicking off, just keeps it going through May. So before we will have to wait the long summer to come back again.
I know. That's the worst thing about it. Like, I think the first few weeks isn't as bad because it's like, right, we need a break now from football. But then, like, within 2 weeks, 3 at a push, I'm like, I need football back.
Yeah.
Like, I need it back.
Yeah, it's like sort of mid to late June, isn't it? And then the fixtures come out, and you're like, oh, I've still got 6 weeks to it.
I love the fixtures because it's so much. It's like you go, it's the fixtures, and you look at it and you go, we're playing all the same teams that we were going to play, just in a random order that I didn't know. And you go, oh, we got this team, we got them in February. And you're like, oh, that's going to be tough for February. And you're like, I was going to have to play them at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Just a quick question as well. Like, what's the first thing you look for on the fixtures? One of mine is you obviously look at your opening and obviously the closing games. The ones near my birthday as well, where I'm like, yes, what am I going to do? And Christmas. I think like over Christmas, they're the main ones. Does anyone else have any other like what?
Definitely Boxing Day. Like, and I
love Boxing Day and New Year. But
I love a Boxing Day away day. Like, I went down. It might have been like before your time, really. We went down when we were in the Premier League. We went down to Bradford and we won 4-1, and Kevin Phillips missed a penalty to get his hat-trick. And it was just such a good day. You know, I love Boxing Day. I love Boxing Day away trips. Boxing Day at home, you get a little bit bored. You know what I mean? But love a bit of a travel away from home.
Oh, Jen, imagine Markham Rochdale Boxing Day.
I'll take one close to home because if I can go home for Christmas and not worry about Boxing Day and where Liam needs to be, that would be great. I'm telling you, Rochdale the first one I need to know, and I need to know churro is definitely on a Saturday because that is a weekend trip. And if they put it on a Tuesday, I'm going to be fuming. I'm literally going to kick off.
Oh my god, yeah.
We've been quite lucky with ours, like last few seasons, because we've had like Fylde. Obviously, we won't now with them being relegated, but we've tended to be quite close ones, like Boxing Day, because you do it where you play them on Boxing Day at home, and then you'll get them like New Year, obviously away. That's where it's tended to work out on National League, which is quite good. But I'm manifesting Markham now.
Yeah,
over Christmas. That'd be so good.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was.
Does everyone else check for the big derby games as well? Are they one of the first ones?
Yeah.
First ones. I mean, I know because obviously at our level, we know we're going to get a derby. We are because of the travelling and everything. So we always tend to get Tunbridge, but I think next year probably likely to be Dover because we're their closest. Sorry, they're our closest rivals. We're their closest rivals, so it's over an hour away, which is helpful. But the derby games, first game of the season. I guess as well the last game, because you always want to know if you're playing at home the last game of the season, because it's always better because you can do all your awards and that and have a bit more good time. It felt different because we had an away game last game this year. So I always look for. But first game's the one I'm most interested in because you want to, especially if it's one of the new teams coming up or down and that you want to play them first because it's a different team.
Yeah.
Mine's birthday. I get shafted every year, don't I? Every flipping year. I think it was Liverpool 7-0 was on my birthday weekend, so that was wonderful. And it's like so normally I don't have to look for my rivals away because it's usually that weekend. Fantastic. That'll be a nice nice weekend again to look forward to. But I think I like the first game's the first thing. I think you're looking, and that's the one. Then you kind of build in your head, don't you? And then you see like, okay, can we build a run? And then you kind of go from beyond there. But it's always exciting just to. It gives you something, done it for a couple of days to sort of have a little look and just go, oh, okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Oh no, it's another 6 weeks.
Do you still get excited though, like Sam, for the fixture this? Because obviously with Man United, they're never going to go down, are they? Let's be honest. I mean,
don't you dare. Don't. This season has proved anything's possible.
Well, because it's always mostly the same teams pretty much every year. Do you still get excited for like fixture releases?
You do, and I did because like usually, I mean, you know, Manchester United, we were fighting for the top. So for you, it's the big games, and when those kind of are, and you're looking around, and there's always a narrative, there's always a reason. It's probably different to like the way you guys are looking at it with like, you know, who's coming there, going on this away trip, etc. But you are looking at it going, oh, when do we play that team? And particularly like this season for me, it'll be what the start is, because if we get a tough start, then manager's going to be gone. So like you're looking at that heavily this season. So that you get excited and you go, and then after about 10 minutes you go, oh yeah, it's all the teams we played last season.
Can I just say I can't wait? Not the same thing for me, and also all year for 8 years. So yeah, kind of. You know what it's about?
There wouldn't be some other side up north and that you'll be looking for first rather than the first game of the season.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. But you just know we're going to get like Liverpool on, yeah. Like it will
they tend to match the promoted sides and like the top few.
They play first.
Like we won't get Fulham at home, you know what I mean? Or something like that, you know. And no disrespect to Fulham, you know what I mean? But it'll be. Yeah, it won't be Newcastle. We never play first game of the season.
You'll be Burnley, guaranteed. It'll be you and Burnley on the Friday night.
You want a home game first, though, don't you? Let's be honest, because you're going back to Burnley, you'll feel like you're home a little bit, won't it?
Well, we kind of have to be at home because it starts on the 16th of August, and then the Women's Rugby World Cup's on, isn't it, the week after?
Yeah.
And that's at the Stadium of Light. So we have that. We have to be at home. We can't be at home because we can't play the same day rugby's playing. So we have to be at home first game. So
Imagine.
I mean, that would be unbelievable.
A lot to watch, wouldn't it?
To be fair, though, if we do get Liverpool, it might be the only chance we've got to win there. Put the women at the same time. Salah getting completely mixed up. What's going on? Get that Fury from Gladiators and take them out.
Sam's hoping you get them, and then the week after United get them, so there might be a few injured players.
It'd be absolutely smashed. The Sunderland rugby team smashed them off the park.
We'll rough them up for you, Sam, don't worry.
Especially if we get Verts as well. That's looking like it's happening.
Yeah.
Good transfers they're making already.
I know. One thing I wanted to point out as well, I'm so chuffed. There's been loads of Dale fans coming in recently supporting me, so thank you. Like it's always an extra bit nicer when it's your own fans as well coming in, like showing support. So thank you for that. Don't tend to have many Dale fans come in and watch me, so thank you. But of course, that is the end of the football chat and another season over in the EFL leagues. It's been a pleasure, guys. Honestly, I know we're obviously going to be doing more content. But thank you so much, because this is officially our second season as an EFL podcast. And obviously we did have the National League as well. We have done the split, but it's been really good. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it with you all. So thank you. It's been a pleasure. And just coming on each week, not just that, lifelong friends as well. I've enjoyed every single moment with you. So thank you. Just wanted to get that in there.
It's been an award-winning season, hasn't it, Charles?
Yes.
An award-winning season. Yeah. Well, I mean, and obviously, and I speak probably for everyone who's been on this, wonderfully hosted by your good self.
Yeah.
Like we've had, obviously,
Thank you.
shows where we've gone on for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Talking about like, the football, everything going on and all that, and the fact that every week, and I know that you go through some like, stuff behind the scenes, stuff like that. The fact that you always come on smiling and everything, that make everyone feel at home. And I think I can speak for, we've got some fantastic new people on this show. And I don't think those people would come on if they weren't greeted as warmly as you greet all of us. So well done to you. Well done you. You never give yourself any credit. So well done you.
Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate that.
100%. I just want to add as well, this show has been, we started obviously the Premier League in this one, but as much as we've done this year in terms of the new non-league show with the women's show that's done fantastic things this season, this show's still been so cornerstone, and it's because of that family feel that this show has. It's merged its way into the other pods, and that's down to Char, you do an incredible job in terms of putting this together, 2 shows, and the stuff that does behind the scenes, but also the commitment that we have from everybody. Ant's been with us from the start and is always here giving us stuff. Jen's been an ever-present this year now on 2 pods as well. Same with sort of Ben. It's lovely. Dreesy's coming in and sort of joining us, and it's amazing to see like the people that have done the show that grow, and you can see that everybody loves it. So it's a massive thank you to everybody who's been on the show. You, Shah, in terms of fantastic job you host, and as well the chat, the people that come in and make it like worthwhile. Like it's been a season, the second season of this show. We're really proud of it, and it's amazing to have everybody still continuing to support it. And even though for a lot of these people, your teams have been done for a month or so, but you're still here talking football with us, so that's amazing. And it's the end of the season, but we're not going anywhere. There's still going to be more. We're still finding some stuff to talk about. Not sure quite what yet, but we'll be about.
I just wanted to say as well, and I know I've said it time and time again, but give yourself credit as well, Sam. Because we wouldn't have this podcast. We wouldn't have all these amazing new graphics. We wouldn't have all the clipping. We wouldn't have all the thumbnails, all this, apart from today, obviously. I'm joking.
It was my worst showing. Yeah, my worst showing of the season.
Without you. So give yourself credit as well. You're amazing.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. And I love doing it for everybody, and love doing, and we've got more coming. So thank you. It's worth putting my time into.
And also, I will say on the clipping that you did for the podcast here, it was when we got promoted into the Championships, Lugo 9 photo, so it was like 2 years too late.
With so many shows, I'm sometimes like, that's a nice Google image, that will do.
I was like, we wore white on Saturday, what's he done?
I'm like, is that guy in a shirt that's represented by the club? Yeah, does he look happy? That will do.
Worse, it?
But yeah, and as everyone mentioned as well, like, thank you so much to everybody in the chat, because you're all amazing. And it's not just that. You support us, not just on this show, but you continuously come in, support us on all 4 shows, and it's amazing. And I say it every single show, but the community and the safe space that we have built over a short number of time is just brilliant. And I love that everyone's confidence and everyone's coming out of the shell, and they feel like they can express their opinions without obviously like being attacked for it, because that's the worst thing about some of these like podcasts and stuff and on social media. You're afraid sometimes to kind of have your say without someone coming back and hitting back at you. So just want to thank everyone in the chat, because you're all amazing. You really are. This made me laugh from Claire. I won't read it, but thank you. Right back at you, love, too.
That's Claire's way of saying she loves us all and loves you all as well.
But of course, and now we've said all our speeches and been really soppy, we need to get back to reality now. Claire's brought us back to reality with that comment. Sam, thank you so much for coming on today. It's been an absolute pleasure. Where can everybody find you and all of your football content?
Hi, welcome. I'm on @SamAbsoluteFBL on Twitter. I'm doing some stuff on my YouTube channels for both FB. I've got Sam Absolute FBL, where I do some Premier League stuff, and EFL, where I'll be doing stuff Championship and League One. I started doing some season reviews, so if you like Blackburn, Burnley, or Bristol City, they're there, but they're taking too long, so I might do something else for a bit. Over the summer. So sorry about the other 23 teams, 21 teams, but enjoy those. Maybe who cares? I'll do one in a couple of weeks. Why not? But of course, yeah, and also we've got some on the pod stuff. There's say if you're not a member, if you haven't checked out the member stuff, we're trying to sort of build that up. So, you know, if you have a look at sort of joining, becoming part of the Absolute team, we're starting as well to do a get to know the podcasters this summer. So I've got the first one's tomorrow night. So if you're a member, that'll be a members only kind of video. And it's going to be so you can get to know all of the wonderful people we have on the show, and you know, what makes them tick, what's behind them. And I've got a new funny game show. You know, I love a good funny game. So there's a funny game for you all to play, which will be exciting. So no, thank you for having me on. It's been a pleasure.
I just want to say as well, if you're not a member, sign up, because Lecky are safe now. They are not going down. And if you type Lecky in and you're a member, an emoji of me will come up, because you know me, I love the Lecky, and I'm going to get a shirt next season. And where can everybody find you in your socials? And thank you as well, because you've been an amazing host on the times I couldn't be on. So thank you.
Well, I was going to say Tuesday nights from next year, but everyone knows I'll be in here as well. So don't worry about it. Don't worry, I'm going nowhere, by the way. I'm still going to be annoying you all on a Thursday. But yeah, I agree with that, by the way, because that is the best intro ever.
We need a new one.
We were interviewing an Ipswich fan, weren't we, last year? And that was the first time I'd seen it, and I was no good. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Just pissing myself laughing at you.
I feel like we should watch it.
It was you with the French mustache. Absolutely not.
It's when we had Matt Jarvis on When It's Show, and we just after it came back, we were like, oh my God, this guy's played for England, and there's me and Shah like twatting about in our living rooms.
When you first start it out and you think, right, we're just starting out with a podcast now, it'll be fun for people to come on and watch it. And then eventually you get Matt Jarvis on, who's like played for West Ham and his career played for England, as Sam says. And he sat there, but he appreciated it. He loved it.
They all love it.
Can I request we have it on my, when we're doing the Meet the Podcast, can I just have that? I don't want anything else. You don't have to ask us any questions. I just want that.
Put that one up. I actually have to take the copyrighted music off of it. That's the only thing change, and then we'll be all right.
Why don't we make a new one with all of us in it? I'll still put my lipstick on and go, absolutely not.
We're releasing just as an episode. It'll be 15 minutes just of everybody in a compilation.
Great. Well, yes, you can find me at @_Watterson at Twitter.
Ben, where can everybody find you?
Well, if I don't want any boring tweets and that, probably not best not to follow me. But if you do, do want to keep
we love you, Ben. You're not boring.
Want to keep what's going on at the Stones. It's Ben Stones FC1 on Twitter.
Jen, where can everybody find you?
No, it's Jen Hunt _ but what was that? Can you tell? It's Jen Hunt _ on TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And I also just want to say thank you to everyone who has given me support during the season, because we all know how bad it's been. But fingers crossed, there was a statement that went out with the extension of the season tickets today, and the takeover has been sent to the solicitors, so now it's just waiting for it to be confirmed. So hopefully, fingers crossed, once Derek's back in a couple of weeks, he can sit down and he can go, yes, I can sign this player that I actually want. So fingers crossed, that's going to go through as soon as possible.
Honestly, I'm probably feeling up. That's really made me happy. I'm sorry, I'm emotional.
I forgot to mention it before. I forgot to send it in the group before, but yes, there was a statement that went out today that it's been sent to the solicitors, and we are just waiting for that, and then it will be announced.
Love that. Yay, I'm so happy. That's proper made my day, that really has. Treaty, where can everybody find you?
You can find me Driti_HGT, and that's on Twitter. And then my Her Game 2 stuff is HGT_BCFC, and that's on Twitter and Instagram. And now the season's done, stay tuned for a few announcements. They are coming. We just need to finalise a few things, but I am very excited. Obviously, League One football, new things. I'm very, very excited for next season. More away days as well, so stay tuned for that.
Love that. If anybody wants to find me as well, I am SharXRAFC. That is on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. At the moment, my Her Game 2 stuff is still Rochdale HGT. But again, there is a lot of new changes coming. Hopefully some bigger and better stuff as well. So please stay tuned with all of that. I'm really excited for the new season. But of course, the main ones. The main ones, we are the Absolute Football Podcast, and we did win Best New Content Creator at the Football Content Awards. If you don't know, go on our TikTok and check out Ant's celebration, and then you'll know we won. You will know we won.
I regret nothing.
But on Twitter, we are Absolute Ball Pod. On YouTube and Twitch, we are Absolute Football Podcast. On TikTok, we are Absolute Football Pod. On Instagram, we are Absolute Football Podcast _ Absolute Football on Blue Skies, and the Absolute Football Podcast on Facebook. And we don't have 1, 2, 3, but we have 4 live shows a week now. How amazing is that? Like, when you think about it and how much it's grown, that's brilliant, isn't it?
It was just, remember at the start, and it was just one. We did one a week, and then there was a time when there was only me and you on the show, on their show. We'd do like
the time.
And they were like, that's these two again, for God's sake. Like, now we've got like 30 odd people. It's crazy.
We're like the Absolute Football Podcast Soul Solid crew, Blazing Squad, whatever you want to call us. We're massive. But yes, we have 4 shows a week on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, all at 8:30. You can catch us. On a Monday is the Absolutely Non-League show with myself, Jen, Ben, and the rest of the team talking all things non-league, and that is National League North, National League South. On Absolutely Premier League, Sam, don't worry, you'll be getting more recruits. It won't just be you and Rebecca.
All of those new faces coming in. I'm preparing them already.
On the contract.
That is obviously the Premier League show. We do cover Europe as well, don't we, Sam? Every now and again.
We do. We try.
Scotland in particular with Rebecca, bless her. She loves it. She loves it.
Muckbook Rebecca, as she's known on the Tuesday pod.
We have on a Wednesday Freya and Team Chaos with Absolutely Women's Football. They cover everything from the women's. Let me start again. You're catching it. I'm catching it off, Jen. They cover everything about women's football, and they will be doing some watch-alongs for the Women's Euros, which I'm really excited to watch. Cannot wait for that. And then obviously on a Thursday, you can catch us all on Absolutely Lower League, and that's where we cover the EFL Championship, League One and League Two. And spoiler alert, Ant and Dan aren't leaving because I'm not letting them. Like, I'm not letting them. That'd be not allowed. They will have to double pod. They'll have to double pod. It's here now. It's here now. They're not leaving. And if they do, I'll come and find you, Anne. I will turn up at your house. I will eat a yogurt on a train. But it's not happening.
Just don't do it. No, we're not. We're like Wolf of Wall Street, me and Dan. We're not going anywhere. We're not leaving. We'll be fine.
You can't.
I'm not leaving.
You heard it all here. But thank you so much again to everybody in the chat. You're all amazing. Hope you all have a lovely weekend, and ta-ta for now. Bye everyone.